Well, thank you, Chriselle. And I also want to thank everybody for coming to the 9th Annual State of the City Awards event here. Joe Hoshaw started this many years ago with me, and I'm thankful that he did. That we never did this in Trenton before, but we are here for the 9th straight year. And each year I try and give you a positive approach to what Trenton is doing and what's been, but I have to also talk about some of the negatives that's going on. In fact, I got to move the microphone up a little bit higher. Now, can you hear me in the back now? Okay, sorry. Anyways, what I want to do right now is thank, first of all, the Trenton Rotary Club and the Trenton Business Association for the co-sponsoring of this event. If it wasn't for them, my words would not get out, and we'd have to rely on television, and not everybody watches that. So I thank you today for the turnout that you made today, and weather being cold as it is, and we certainly appreciate that. As I've said in the past, if you're going to have a State of the City address, you're going to have people present. It's nice when they fill the seats up, and you have today, and I thank you for that. But I do have some introductions that I want to go through first, try and get that out of the way pretty quickly. And all I'd ask you to do is if I give you their name and what they do, if you would just hold your applause until the end. I know it's common to do that, to applause after each name, but if you would, hold off, and if I forget for some reason to ask for this applause, somebody give me a high sign that I forgot to do that. I did that one year. I said to hold off, and I forgot to tell people to applause. Not this year. Well, today we have Senator Patrick Colbeck, our new senator. We also have Council Member Timberbaugh Crooks back here, and we have Councilman Dan Gillespie. We have Randy Schoen, our city treasurer. We have Kyle Stack, our city clerk, and John Dahlquist, our city assessor. It's nice to have our two of our judges. I think only two are here right now. We have Judge Mike McNally, and our new judge out there, Jennifer Coleman Hessen, is also here. And we have, in our school board, we have people present, as they always are. And we have Dr. John Sabell here. We have President Dennis Bearden. We have Chris Howe. We have Carol Oakley over this table here. And I thought we were going to have Mike Hawkins, but I'm not sure if he got here or not. Okay. So anyways, please applause for these people. And as always, if you've been to these State of the Cities before, I have to and want to acknowledge my city administration. They are here. I'm not going to ask them to rise or anything like that, but I don't know of anybody that's not here. So I appreciate that. And once again, I've got to continually thank them like I did for the past 9 years. I thank them because of what they do. It's the fine work they do for the city is certainly a reflection on what the people get in this community, and I'm very thankful that they are here and they surround me, because I'm only as good as the people that surround me, and I know that. I'm not egotistical to think that I could be the person that's going to run this whole city. It doesn't work that way. So anyways, led by Mr. Bob Cady is our city administrator. They're here. Just raise your hand, and please applaud for them if you wouldn't mind. Raise your hand. Okay, that's introductions are out of the way, and if I've missed somebody, I certainly do apologize. That was not my intentions, but I try to catch everybody as they're coming in the door and jot down their names. And I don't think I missed anybody unless I see a hand go up. I did good this year. Okay. All right. What I want to do now is, I probably sound like a broken record when I talk about the economy and how challenging it has been for the past 3 years. This upcoming year will be very similar. We've got to do some more belt tightening, largely due to another forecasted decrease in taxable state equalized value of our properties. As you'll recall, I mentioned back in 2009, we dropped 6%. Last year in 2010, we dropped 9%. I'm told now in 2011, we're going to drop another 3 to 5%. This equates to about $400,000 reduction for this upcoming year alone, just for the 3 to 5%. So due to the bad stock market that's happened in the last several years, our police and fire pension system and a municipal employees retirement system, sometimes called MERS, we're required to additionally fund those pension funds by $500,000. Before we even get into budget talks for the 2011-2012 year, we've got a $1 million gap to fill at a minimum. If this forecasted deficit is the only problem that we have, we are confident that we can still get through this upcoming year and probably still retain the services that we currently provide our residents. Now, the uncertainty of what the state will do with our entitled state revenue sharing dollars and the possibility of repealing the personal property tax is frightening, to say the least. We cannot afford to lose any more revenue sharing money, and the personal property tax loss would put Trenton at risk for $3.7 million next year, just by itself. Senator Colbeck, he's here. We've talked about this. I realize that you're new to the Senate, but our community needs for you to take a Trenton position on these two issues, and we can continue to be the community we are. Last year, as you may recall, we had a similar forecasted deficit, in fact, even larger, and thus far, we have gotten through because of the belt tightening that we've had to take place here. It's imperative that I commend all our city unions and the non-union employees for doing their part by taking concessions in the amount of $600,000 last year, which assisted in filling the forecasted hole. This effort on their part was in addition to what they have negotiated in the past with the city in the area of health care, wages, and language changes which impact financial issues in the various contracts. Because we began downsizing efforts in 2001 and the cooperation of the unions and the non-union employees, we are in a much more comfortable situation than many other Michigan cities throughout the state. I'm told that there are many Michigan cities right now that are on the bubble either for receivership or for bankruptcy. We are not one of them, not in Trenton. You see, I'll be starting to get into the positive stuff here in a little bit. When wages, medical benefits, retirement packages, and manpower are compared to other cities, Trenton is way ahead of the curve when it comes to necessary modifications that had to take place back when they needed to be. I thank you, Trenton's employees, for your past concessions, and I thank you in advance for the anticipated cooperation that will occur when the city and the unions begin their negotiations, and that these contracts become expired June 30th, and that we will have ratification of all agreements. I believe we can do that. As in the past, I try to get past the negative as quick as I can and talk more about positive happenings within the city of Trenton that makes the Trenton community what it is. In this day and age, we can really get hung up on negativity, such as in this past year when Kathleen, a 7-year-old little girl that suffers from terminal Huntington's disease, being publicly harassed by adults who reside in one of our North Trenton streets. Yes, it was cruel to the little girl and embarrassing to the city of Trenton that this could occur in our community. But it was the rallying and the fundraising of the people getting behind the little girl and her family that became the real story. Trenton and other community residents made it known that this sort of behavior was not going to be tolerated. And in addition, we were able to raise funds for research of the Huntington disease itself. That was very nice, and it was because of all these people that read about this story. It actually went, I know it went nationally, but I heard it even might have went worldwide, this story did. And that's unfortunate. But the people rallied together and made it better. I really believe that. It's not well publicized, but we have Trenton business people and residents that year after year provide their own transportation, vacation time, and at no compensation, go to countries such as Haiti, Nicaragua, and other third world countries and provide medical procedures and construction projects. Rotarians, Trenton Rotarians, Dr. John Bodell, Dr. Noel Jackson, Mike McCullough, Bill Jasmine are just a few names to mention. Also, Councilman Dan Gillespie just returned from Haiti after providing his electrical engineering expertise to a project involving an orphanage. Now, this is an example of positive Trenton news. John and Gail Craven, they are here today. I didn't know they were going to be here today, but they decided on getting involved with a war monuments project that would honor the deaths of our Trenton military personnel in the several wars that our country has fought in. The Cravens, along with other members of their committee, made a plea to Trenton people of a need for an excess of $33,000 to purchase the 6 granite monuments and receive the bulk of it in a very short time. Another example of how this community can band together would result in great positive news. By the way, I didn't mean to stop right now, but I've forgotten, and I did it a couple years now. My wife, Cheryl, is seated right here. Sorry. Right in the midst of all my positive comments, I just realized that. I had it written down, too. I'm sorry. But anyways, so John and Gail, thank you for what you did. Now that will, by the way, will take place on Memorial Day, the Memorial Day Parade in May, at the end of May, and it's going to be a real nice event. It's going to tie in with the normal event that we have, for the flag raising and the wreaths and all that thing like that. It's all going to be done, and it's going to be done an extra hour or two after that at Westfield. So that's your plug, John and Gail. Okay, the Trenton City Awards Banquet that is sponsored by the Trenton Civic Commission annually honors many residents with plaques and recognition for what these residents have accomplished as Trentonites, and it is an evening that is well attended and a chance to put our deserving residents in the spotlight. Just another example of positive Trenton happenings. Another positive Trenton event happens to be from a Rotarian here, is what Trentonite and business owner Dr. Noel Jackson has initiated. Rather than spend $12,000 a year on advertising for his dental business, he has decided to create the Downriver Desirable Dozen. Each month, he seeks out a local cause or charity and provides a $1,000 check to assist in their ventures. He feels good about it, and the recipients certainly are feeling good about it, $1,000 a month. I think it's a great idea. But by Dr. Jackson doing this, it's hoped that it will catch on and that other businesses and many more donors and recipients will benefit from the philanthropy such as Dr. Jackson's. Speaking of philanthropy and benevolence, Mr. Randy Fritz from Fritz Enterprise and Huron Valley Steel excuse me, has offered to triple the size of our annual fireworks this year, just because he and his family want to. Our fireworks have always been great, and so you can imagine what they'll be like this year. Randy's offer was unsolicited, and I'm anxious to see the display. And I thank you, Randy and his family's not here, but I thank you, Randy, and your family, for the generosity that you do every year. And he's one of those people, and the family's one of those families that just don't look for recognition. They just have to be announced by guys like me. That's okay. I'll do that every day. I can. All right, new businesses in the city. It's nice to see that we have commercial establishments opening and taking a chance on Trenton, especially during this time of economic uncertainty. 3 new restaurants have opened during the past year and are operational. I'm told they are doing well, and I'm pleased to hear that. They are Happy's Pizza on West Road, the former Lions Service Center site. We have the TV Grand Event, which is formerly the Sibley Grill, and the Roundhouse Tavern on West Jefferson and West Road, which is the former Tijuana Crossing. Other business startups are the Wandering Minstrel on 5th Street, Sage Studio on West Jefferson, Lighthouse Tax Investments on West Road near West Jefferson, and the Disney Tax Store Corporation on Chelsea and West Road. I think it's great that they're doing this, and it's a sign, I think, that we ought to take as improvement in our definitely our depressed economy. And I think we've already hit rock bottom. I really do. And some of the bankers that are here maybe can attest to that, I hope, because we need the bankers and their money to move forward, and hopefully they'll release it without much trouble. That seems to be the problem. It's just a minor problem. You got to give it out, too.